Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Season 3 of the Rule 34 podcast. I am Jack in the Dark, joined by
Dominic Castillo.
And John Wick.
Alright, so we are back. If I am a bit silent in the beginning, it is because I'm eating. I haven't had anything, and since we record in the mornings, I was just too hungry this morning. But how have the two of you been?
I have been doing pretty well. I have overcome my fever, so I'm not gonna be as sick as before. I'm still a little sick, I'm still a little coughs here and there, but yeah. Aside from that, I've come close to finally receiving those Aero discs I was talking about not too long ago. They're finally on a delivery truck as we speak, but they're probably going to miss me and probably going to send it till tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Anything else been going on? Work has been pretty POG championship. Nothing too shabby, nothing too bad. What else? So we finally got around to playing more of the Overwatch 2, and we've had our ups and downs, our insane gameplays, and our pretty bad games. And, I will have to admit, some of it was due to my fault, being very bad at the game, but, it is what it is. What else? I was thinking of buying a new Lego set, which will come in due time. I'm not sure if I'll say what it is yet, but it's probably going to connect to what we're talking about soon enough. Thanksgiving is right around the corner. We won't talk about it just yet, but it's very close. It's on the horizon. We're getting very close. What else? And same thing with Christmas and all that stuff.
It's next week.
Oh, it is next week. Yeah, it is next week as the time of the recording. So we'll make a special episode on that. If schedules do perfectly line up, there should be an episode out by then. What else? No, nothing much else. Life's been pretty okay at the moment. It's a little slow. Midterms are coming up for me. I think I have a midterm due this Wednesday for me. So. But it's like, you could take it any time, but it's due Wednesday. So I might be taking it later today, or I might be taking it tomorrow, depending on how much time I have, in case I have to do anything else. And yeah, that's life, midterm, man. School, man. Life, man. How have you been, Giovanni Galvanize?
I don't know. Life's been pretty good. Work has been great lately. People there are very inclusive. Everybody's like a family, which is nice.
He's been missing his shots as Widow.
Dude, I literally got play of the game yesterday. You saw how clean my shots are.
He's not wrong. I got 3 shots.
He did get 3 shots, but also yesterday was probably the most toxic Overwatch session we've had since the game dropped.
That's what makes it fun, dude. If toxicity wasn't part of gaming, nobody would be playing video games.
Hey, he's not wrong.
Not wrong.
But it is true, because like when we're all quiet, it's boring, but it's literally just playing Overwatch. When we start getting at each other's throats, so much fun. Because like literally like the smallest of things just starts triggering 30 minutes of us just going back and forth. And I find it really funny. And I kind of instigate it half of the time. Because, I don't know, I enjoy it so much. But anyways, on the other side of things, I ordered...
Yeah. What he ordered, we're currently unsure of.
My bad. My mom came in. I ordered some new tea from Lockdown, India. Tea Corporation or something like that. It's from... I'm excited to taste it because the first tea that I got from them was really good. So I'm going to try it out today. But
Don't forget you're Tim the Tat Man, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah, Tim the Sandman shirt. Hashtag ad. I'm just kidding. That's pretty much it on my part. What about you, Jack?
I've been doing pretty good in terms of what's going on with life. Went to see Black Panther 2 this Saturday with a bunch of family and then 2 friends. And in my opinion, it's the best Marvel movie that's come out this year. And in terms of Phase 4, it's probably amongst the best. I really enjoyed a lot of that movie. Really enjoyed Namor and his character. What else? This Wednesday, I'm going to be going to the Crypto Arena, Staples Center, to watch Post Malone with my cousins and my brother. Yeah, maybe I see you guys when I'm like walking around. I don't know. Maybe I halfway through the concert join the staff out of nowhere and just start working while watching.
We got positions open.
I think that's cap because Jose's been trying to get there.
Okay.
And he hasn't been hired.
We'll make an exception, you know.
I don't know, man. I think that's cap. But what else? In terms of delivery stuff, I guess I'll add on. I am waiting for 2 items to come in. What's it called? Actually, I haven't checked where they're at lately. The last time I checked, so originally when I ordered them, I guess the shipping facility or whatever, which it's really weird because, just straight up, it's two albums from Twice, and that's Korea, but yet the shipping facility was in Michigan, and then the last time I checked, it got sent to a FedEx in Ohio, and it should be on its way, but I don't know what time it gets here. It probably gets here tomorrow or Wednesday when I'm at that concert.
Ooh, it wasn't Ohio. That's crazy.
I know, that's the craziest part. Ohio of all places, bro. I think my item's cursed now. I can't open it up.
Just beware in case there's like a little ticking noise,
Well, that's what happened last time when I got a package from you.
Oh, hey, it's a love letter. It was a love letter.
No, it wasn't, man.
It was. The ticking was
my home was in shambles after I opened it up. Like that one scene of SpongeBob where Mr. Krabs dips the piece of pie in milk.
I do not recall this episode.
You remember? Because there was bombs in the pies for whatever reason.
There was bombs? I don't know. What?
How do you not remember this episode where...
I don't remember this.
Where SpongeBob gave Squidward like a really itchy sweater or whatever, and he didn't like it, and SpongeBob was all sad. And I
made one with my tears.
Yeah, what's it called? Basically, Squidward wanted to make it up for him and get him a gift, and he got him this pie. And the funniest part was that the people that were like, I guess, selling it to him, they literally told him, "Oh, these pies have bombs in them," and he was still like, "Oh, I don't care, just give me the pie." And I guess he thought it was fake. But then Mr. Krabs is like, "Oh, let's test it out." And he gets a piece of the pie, and he like accidentally slips, and the piece of the pie goes flying towards the carton of milk, and it causes a huge explosion. And then they were basically like, "Oh, you got to make sure SpongeBob doesn't eat that pie," or I think he did eat it. And so they were like, "Oh, Squidward, you got to spend your final hours with him because, you're the one that killed him basically because you made him eat this pie that had a bomb in it."
I'm looking at the episode right now. It's so random, dude. I'm looking at a piece of pie that hit the milk carton and just blew up.
Yeah, it's probably one of the most random episodes, but it's where that meme where you see Mr. Krabs and Squidward like with the explosion, that's where the meme comes from.
Now that I think about it, don't you think like this specific moment in the show could like deter children from eating pies? Because they think they're gonna blow themselves up if they eat a pie again. Think about it.
I would think so, because think about all the other foods that it's happened for, like watermelon seeds. Oh, you don't eat the seeds because then one's gonna grow in your stomach. I don't know if y'all ever heard that.
Oh yeah, it's a classic.
Or you look at how many people don't like certain vegetables like Brussels sprouts because of how much it was said on like TV shows and cartoons. Like the kids hated it, so it imprinted on a whole generation of kids that they're terrible food. So I wouldn't doubt it. Imagine you meet someone though, then you're like, "Oh, you want some pie?" And they're like, "Nah, I'm afraid it's gonna blow up."
It do be like that, but just for the record, Brussels sprouts are not that bad. I've eaten them quite a number of times, but you don't just eat Brussels sprouts on their own. You got to combine them with like other veggies and stuff. You don't just eat it on its own.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm pretty sure they gave us Brussels sprouts in one of the family meals that they gave us at work. And
Oh yeah. What are your thoughts on Brussels sprouts, Giovanni?
I don't know. I'm not a fan of them.
What? That's crazy.
All this talk.
I was gonna say something.
Hey, go ahead.
This goes back to what Dominic said earlier about getting a Lego set. I'm pretty sure. I guess Jack. I think you and I know which one he's gonna get. Considering today's topic, but have you guys seen like the Thor, Mjolnir Lego set? It's like $100, and you literally get to like build a hammer, and it's like on a stand.
Is it life size?
I don't know how big it is, but it's not like it's like not life size, but it's still pretty big.
Man,
No, I'm looking at it right now. Interesting. I wonder how much it is.
Last time I checked, it was $100.
Yeah, I just saw right now.
With taxes, think about taxes, man.
Pretty insane price. But I don't know. I feel like, well, obviously it might cost more, but like, would you go for the Lego version or would you go for a replica of the actual version,
I mean, I feel like a Lego version would be more enticing. Sure, the details won't be there, but you get to build it. You know what I mean? Well, I think replica version is just gonna be way more expensive, and and stuff. Depending on the details, like what if people like make it like unrealistically heavy so as to like replicate the actual, the hammer not being easily picked up by anybody. While Lego could be picked up by a kid. It fulfills their dreams of picking up such a famous hammer.
And then they drop
The
it and it falls
mythology,
apart.
think about that.
I'm looking at a replica, and it's $169.
That's not too bad.
Well, it's not so bad. I mean, it'd be kind of funny if like you accidentally drop the hammer on your foot, and then all of a sudden now you're hundreds of $1,000s in debt because of medical bills. That's crazy.
But see, I think the other thing too that you got to take into consideration is do you have the time for such a thing when it comes to obviously Mjolnir is a much smaller one, you could probably easily build that, but a lot of people like look into Lego sets but they kind of ignore the time essence of it, that like if it's a really big build you really got to take your time to get everything right in it, and follow all the instructions right, like that huge Millennium Falcon one, like that would be cool to have, collectors wise and have like on display somewhere, but imagine having to go through and put that together, like all the pieces,
Dude,
Yeah.
it does take a while.
Like Dom, that big old car that you have, the Lego car, how long did that take you?
Like 4 nights, so like 5 hours around that time, 6 hours.
Yes.
Wait, you bought one of the Lego cars? Which one? What
I have
car?
the Lego Porsche, the orange one. I bought it for 300 buckaroos.
Goddamn.
It was expensive, but I have to say that the building experience was pretty phenomenal. Like the amount of time and dedication that they take into making this thing is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking of buying another one since I have a bit more money to spend after saving and stuff. I was thinking of buying the Lamborghini or the Ferrari, but I think those are just a bit too expensive, going to around like 400 to 450. But You know, that's what it is when it comes to, you know, brands and stuff. And licensing and
Dude,
stuff.
you could buy. They have stadiums.
Oh yeah, dude, man! I always wanted to buy these like huge Lego sets, but it just, I mean, one, I don't have the room, and two, it'll be a huge money, like, not waster, but it's just big spending if I ever want to.
They have the Titanic, the Coliseum.
By Reinhardt and Diva.
Do they have Overwatch stuff?
They do have Overwatch stuff.
I think it was only this one, right?
Oh, dude, I'm buying that right now.
Which one are you buying?
I don't know, whichever one I find first.
Is
Oh,
there's-
Reinhardt, Diva, Junkrat, Roadhog, Gibraltar, Wrecking Ball, Bastion.
Yeah, I forgot how many they did.
The just to
all
let
of
you
them
know,
are out of stock.
oh, you have to buy through eBay, my guy.
Or
Hell
Amazon.
no, dude.
It is what it is. Just to
Oh,
let you
dude,
know,
it comes with a little Diva. Baby Diva. Cool.
the Reinhardt and Diva, they're pretty small in comparison to the box. Just to let you know.
Yeah, I'm seeing pictures right now. It's literally half the size.
Es lo que es. I think there's a full size Mecha Diva Lego thing. I think, if I'm not incorrect, but I might be wrong.
Overwatch.
Because I only have the miniature version of Diva's mech, you know, as a Lego. But I don't know if there's like. I feel like there's like a full size, not full size replica, but like at least like a, I don't know, like a 1/4 scale maybe.
They have the Funko Pop.
Oh, there's the Funko Pop. I know that. Yeah, I might be confusing it for that. I'm not sure.
$60. I don't know. I think the Funko Pop would be better than the Lego.
Yeah, but you get to build the Lego, you know, and you know, it's more fun. You get to experience the build. As compared to a Funko Pop, you buy it and you know that's it.
They have a figurine of Diva for 131.
Okay, that's a bit much.
Dude,
Do you have?
the
It's
Oh, I
literally just Baby Diva.
I have Divas. I could sell it for 130.
Dude, the Ramatra one that they showed during the Overwatch.
Oh, dude, that thing
finals?
was sick.
Yeah, they released some really detailed ones, obviously, but the issue is of how expensive they are. But that one looked pretty sick. They do release some like detailed figure ones, but the thing is, they're really expensive.
Wait, is there a Ramatra one already out?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
they
What?
made it available for pre-order.
Oh. But
I'll send you the link in chat.
send me that. I've never seen this.
It's $200, 10 inches.
Oh, but it's a bus. It's not a
It's
not
it's not a full-on figure.
200 just for the bus. That's crazy.
Dude, but it looks sick
It
as fuck.
does look pretty.
Thick.
Cool.
Yeah, I know they've done other ones like I think they did a Widow, I believe. What else have they done? I'm trying to remember.
Widow,
I
but
want
I'm
a
not.
Widow. Where's the Widow?
Hold on, let me see if I can find. But yeah, they Overwatch has done some like really detailed figures on their own. But they're like one of the first ones I think was the Widow. I think they've had to have done a Tracer. I know that for sure because Tracer was literally like the poster girl for over 5 years or so.
6 years.
6 years. Yeah, 6 years. Why can't I not find? Hold on. What? Let me type in Widowmaker. But yeah, I don't know. I guess you obviously have to have the money for a lot of this stuff. But I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think? I guess you could say is an explanation behind the fascination of collectibles.
Well, I mean, I feel like the whole point of the collectible is to, you know, collect them all, obviously, in the first place, but like to have essentially, I guess, to put your place in time where you say, yo, I have this, yo, everybody come check this out, I have this, you know? Like those who have the Lego Millennium Falcon, that is really difficult to get, or I don't even think it is. Yeah, it's insanely expensive, or you know, you just don't get it. So I feel like the whole point of the collectibles, same thing with like anime figs and collecting games, collecting vinyl records, and rare CDs and VHS and stuff like that, is to like tell the world, I got this, or maybe if it's through personal means, it's probably meaning just, I personally have preserved this, then this is mine, You wouldn't want to see such a, precious piece of history or, a prized, figurine, for example, to go into someone else's hands because it's not yours per se. Know what I mean?
And I think there's probably a sense of like support behind it, like, like getting a vinyl is your way of showing your support for an album you really like, a band you really like, certain figures, you can be like, to show your, like, that you're a fan of a certain anime, and then like if you post like, I guess, a picture of it or you share it to your friends, you like, I guess there's that slight hope that like, it's a way to connect with people, like, oh yeah, look, I got this and this, are you also a fan of this and this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what is the most prized collection or the prized figure, prized anything sort of collectible you guys have in your households?
I don't think I have anything rare, but I think the two, if we're going by price, the two most prized things I have are probably my Demon Slayer box set and my Mikasa figure, because those two were probably the most expensive purchases I've made, both like individually their prices. Cause no, continue, Joe. Because I'm thinking of something while I'm looking around my room.
For me, it would have to. I know you guys are not gonna like. Maybe Jack can relate or will understand what I mean by this. But the most prized possession that I have right now, or to others, I guess, but not to me, is Dreamcatcher's Tree of Language album, because that album, you literally can't get it anymore. So like the resale value on that is like $400 now.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's like the most prized possession, I guess you could say, in my collection. But yeah, I might have like other stuff because I still have like video games from like my PSP era days that are like still in very good condition and I could probably sell for money, but I just don't know. But to my knowledge, that album is the most prized possession, I guess.
You want to know something funny?
Mm-hmm.
So you know how I said my Mikasa figure is probably up there with like the most expensive in terms of price? Funny enough, it's my most expensive, and yet I sadly want to say it's the figure that I've taken the least care of, if you want to say, because when I did all the moving into my room, when I finally got to that figure and moving it, I looked and I was like, why is one of the pieces missing? Part of her blade had fallen off and I never found it, so she's just there without one of her blades, and I'm just like, dude, this was my most expensive figure and now I'm missing pieces to it and it's no longer complete. And I was just like, my gosh, man, I couldn't believe it. Like the thing was, I never even noticed when I moved it, because I've always had it in the same place. So when I did all the moving and I finally put it down and I looked, I was like, I hate myself. I spent so much money on this just for it to be, I guess you could say, incomplete. Because there's also like, I don't know what it was with mine, but like it was a struggle to really put it together, and I ended up like breaking a little piece of it. So like I don't know, man. It's my most expensive figure for sure, but like it's the one I've had the most issues with when it came to putting it together, and now missing pieces to it that I never have been able to find ever since they went missing. But actually, if I think about it, I think my Demon Slayer box set costs more than it though. But I will always consider that a deal because it's 23 manga volumes for like, if I want to say like let me see. What is that? Like $60 cheaper than what it actually would have been.
Right.
What about you, Don?
I have a couple of things. Okay. So I think the Porsche, the Lego Porsche that I have, I think it's nowhere to be bought anymore, unless it's like being marked up. So that thing alone is $300. I believe on eBay. Let me check real quick. How much is a Lego Porsche on eBay? I'm looking at the prices, and it's still for around 300, 400, so not too bad in terms of marked up prices. What else do I have? I have this LP record from a video game series. It's Skullgirls, specifically. The LP on its own, I think it was worth like $50. Now it's worth over like 150 because like they stopped selling it, so it was like limited quantities and stuff. But I think I'm looking. I think the most expensive thing. Well, on its own, it's expensive, but I did not get it for such an expensive price. I think the mouse pad. If you guys, if you know my Instagram and my last post, that mouse pad, which weighs over, I think like 4 pounds, I think.
What?
On its own, I think the price is around 1,000 to 1,500. That's being marked up on the E of Bays.
What?
That's insane.
Yeah, but I swear I did not get it for that price because that'd be way too expensive. The only reason why it's expensive is because it's a famous character from Japanese title, and I think I'm looking right here. Exactly, only 1,893 of these were ever made. They're not going to make any more, and I was able to secure my hands onto one of these mouse pads.
Can you take a picture of it?
It's
Put it in the chat.
It's on my Instagram.
How do I follow you on Instagram?
I'm posing. I'm really posing. I'm
I'll
posing
send
with.
it to you. It's this thing. Well, yeah, that's pretty crazy, though. That I don't know what's more insane.
Oh, that?
The price or the fact that you said it weighs about like 4 pounds.
Yeah, it's around 4 to 5 pounds. I've weighed it. It's pretty heavy. I mean, they use like silicone, meant for other purposes.
Oh, God damn it.
That's crazy.
God damn it, dude.
Technically, the most expensive thing in my room is my 3090, which is a blower card, which is selling for around 4,000, 5,000. But
Dude, is that Suriel? No way.
wait, what?
And I looked at the comments and then Suriel's like, "You need Jesus, my brother."
Oh yeah, I did get that message. Yeah, the mouse pad itself is a bit enticing for those who do not know who the character is or what the character imposes, and what the character is wearing. But that's beside the point. Yeah, it's my prized possession. It's technically speaking one of the largest mouse pads in the world, I think.
You have no shame.
Hey,
How do you? So you put your arm in the middle and then use like the top as like the mouse pad area?
Yeah. It's the mouse pad, yeah.
Is that comfortable? That has to be comfortable.
I've been playing it with Overwatch when it first began with keyboard and mouse, and it's pretty good.
That's crazy.
Dude,
I just thought of something.
Later today, when we play Overwatch, take a video of you playing, or like record like your mouse section. I want to see that, dude, because that seems wild.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. To some, it might seem uncomfortable because you know what, but for me, I guess grown around it.
Dude,
And-
honestly, I could never play with something like that because it would like piss me off. Because I don't know, you're still kind of like new to mouse and keyboard,
Yeah.
so like you're like I don't know, you don't have like the same, you don't like need the same amount of space that like someone who has more experience would need. So if I like move my thing, but a fake thing gets in the way, I will be like,
Yeah, it'd be like that, man.
What's it called?
To each their own and stuff. Yeah.
Gio brought something up earlier that made me realize. So Gio was bringing up like games. I totally forgot. I own basically like basically all the Pokemon games. So a lot of those older ones that were for like the Game Boy, the DS even, like they sell for a lot. And I actually have like most of those games. Like I'll look up right now. Let's see, random one. Pokemon Sapphire. Let's see. How much is Pokemon Sapphire selling for? Shopping. This is selling for... Oh, this is one of the least expensive ones there in my home. What's one of the... Black and white? Let's see. Pokemon Black. Someone's trying to sell Pokemon Black for $200. That's crazy.
$200? What?
That's crazy. But I would never sell these games. I would never. I'd rather have access to play them all the time. Even though I know there's stuff like emulators online that people use and stuff, I like having them in my collection. And it's a symbol of my childhood because the new one's coming out. You already know I'm going to be playing that. And I hope it's a much longer experience than the last game. I don't know if I ever told you that story, Dom, but when I got the new one, I finished it over the course of 5 days, but in reality, combining all the time spent over those 5 days, I realistically completed it in a day. When you looked at the time in-game, it told me I had about I think it was 30 hours on the game when I finished it, and I was like, that was literally just a day's worth of work.
I see.
And realistically, I could have gotten it done completely, probably in a single run, but I don't know. But that's another thing I think of is some of the old games. I know my dad, if he were here to hop on the podcast real quick, he could probably tell you in his closet he has a bunch of old comics that are still in near mint condition. I know I don't know if it's fully mint condition, but I know he has the Death of Superman just right there in his comic collection. Basically never been opened almost. If I remember correctly, I think when it came to the Death of Superman, he said he bought 2 copies. One that he would open and read and one to just keep in there. And so it's he has that in there. He has a lot of old systems the NES, SNES, we still have our PS2, we still have our GameCube, the Wii. Gamer household, bro.
I see. That's pretty cool, man.
As far as that, though, I think that's the only... I think that's all when it comes to me, though, in terms of expensive stuff, because, I don't know, I'm more on the, what would you say? What would you call it? I'm kind of more on the conservative side of things when it comes to figures and collectibles, because I don't feel comfortable dropping a lot of money on stuff. When we went to Frank and Sons, Jason, my friend, the entire time both of us were kind of debating on buying certain things because of the price. And we first went around the whole place. Think of it like a swap meet, Dom. We basically went around the whole sort of area. Right. And then we went back to the place. We walked around the whole area just to see if we saw anything that we saw earlier for a cheaper price. And so we just kind of walked around and then went back. And even after going around basically 2 times, I still couldn't convince myself to buy some of the stuff out there because of how expensive it was. Jason ended up buying, I think it was a Chun-Li figure for I want to say, I think it was $250, somewhere between $250 and $275. And there was another figure that he was trying to convince me to get that was a bit cheaper, but I still was no, I just can't convince myself to spend that type of money on a figure.
The question is, do you see the worth of these figures as that much? Because I'm looking at a bunch of these $300, $400 figures, and I want to see your point, Jack. Do you think that the amount of time that goes into making these figures is worth that price?
I think some of them are, and some of them aren't. And the example I'll use is Crunchyroll store. Many times you'll see figures that are cheaper that look better or more well designed than the more expensive ones. Like I remember, so I have a Shinobu figure from Demon Slayer. I forget where this one costed around. It was somewhere between 50. No, hold on. It was definitely a bit more than 50, but definitely not like towards the hundreds, right?
Right.
Really well designed figure. I like the way it looks. I like the design it look. I'll send a picture to you guys right now. But then I would see on like Crunchyroll store there was other ones of Shinobu that were more expensive. Like there was like $100 ones, $200 ones, and one of them was like $150, I think, and it was just her like standing. It wasn't like any type of unique pose, and I was like, I don't see how a figure like that could be more expensive than one that is like that has more detail to it. Obviously, there's a lot more expensive ones that have that type of detail, but then you find some like how I'm saying where it's literally just them just like in a how would you put it, like in a simple pose, you know, like there's no movement in the figure, there's no unique designs to it, no unique elements to it, and you're just like, how is that one determined to have more value? And then you learn it's because maybe it's a bigger size or whatnot, or the material, the company that it's coming from, and you're just like, I understand that, but at the same time it just doesn't look as nice as per se the other options, you know. Like here, I'll send you guys the image in Discord right now. Obviously, the listening audience won't be able to see it, but this is the Shinobu figure that I have. That was like, it was less than 100 for sure, and I was like, that looks like better than any other option I have in the price range that I'm looking for, you know.
I see.
Because you see, you get all the unique elements, you know. It adds to, you know, the character itself with her form of breathing form and elemental use that she has, you know. It's like it adds all that. Obviously the colors look all nice and all that, and it's like I'm saying, I just don't get how a figure like this is cheaper than, you know, one that is just her in a simple pose. So sometimes I understand that, like, a lot of them, like the well detailed ones, those obviously garner the value that of the price tag, but other ones it's just like, I don't see it.
I feel like the high price tags and all that stuff, I feel like they also mostly point to just like the naming, but also the brand itself, like you know, Nendroids and stuff like that. Do you think that they're worth like $60?
They definitely aren't.
I agree with you on that.
Especially because, like, I don't know. Like, I told my dad, like, I told him, you know, I bought this Kubbi one because I wanted to have something of Kubbi and from Nier Automata because it's one of my top games that, like, I just really love. But when I was putting it together, it was like, it was always such a difficulty because it's like, well, some of the pieces don't want to stick in place. It doesn't really stand up fully when I try and pose it, you know, or when I try and pose it certain ways, it doesn't look right, you know. So, and then plus they're just kind of overpriced because it's just like little miniature figures that sure you can pose, swap out faces, but to me, I don't know, it just doesn't seem worth that price tag, you know. Like some of the Funko Pops that because they're rare, it's like you see people trying to sell them for 200, 300. It's like, dude, it's a minimalist figure of a character. Why are you trying to sell it for that much, you know? Why are people even buying it for that much or trying to sell it for that much?
Agreed.
What about you, Gio?
I mean, for me, it would depend on, like, the character itself. Because, like, the Shinobu one that you sent, like you said, it really, like, accentuates who she is as a character and her character abilities and stuff like that. But then, like, you compare it with, I don't know, like, an Assassin's Creed character that was, like, supposed to be, like, an assassin have that like demeanor of staying in the shadows, blah blah blah. To me, like if I were getting an Assassin's Creed figurine, it would have to be like a lot more serious, like a simple pose, I guess you could say.
Hmm.
So it really depends on the character. If like the pose just doesn't fit who the character is, then it's not worth getting. Like you were saying with the Shinobu one, yeah. So like for me, it depends on like the character and how relevant the pose is to it.
And real quick, let me ask you this because you brought it up earlier. Any instances in the K-pop community where you see things that you're just like, that is not worth the price y'all are trying to sell it for?
Yeah, it always happens with like the OG albums of a group. Like the Dreamcatcher's like debut album. I forget what it's called, like Chase the Dream or whatever. I don't know. It's like selling for like $500 now, $600 now. And I don't know, people are buying them. Like I know people in my server, there's this one person who bought one of those albums for $300 just to have it in their collection. And I would never pay that money for an album. It's literally a photo book, photo cards, and a CD. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
At least when it comes to like K-pop, because it was like that album was mass produced, and a lot of people have it. There's no point in paying $300 on something like that just so that you could go on Twitter and be like, "Oh, look, I got this album. Look how cool I am." No one cares.
And with about 2 minutes and 50 remaining, the last question I want to ask each of you is, what do you think is the maximum you'd spend on some type of collectible? What's the most you would go with?
I think for me, at the current position that I am, anything between 500 and 1,000 is fair game. If it's like a huge thing, if it's like a small like figure that's like rare and stuff, it's not worth it. It has to be worth its value in size and I guess quality.
What about you, Jill?
I just saw a funny video on Twitter. What was the question?
What do you think is your max price tag for collectibles?
For a collectible,
Yeah.
It would really depend on what the item is, but I'd say, I don't know, $500.
Yeah, I'm a cheapskate. I'm gonna say somewhere between like $250 and $300. I'm just not one that spends my money on a lot.
Yeah, I'm lowering mine a lot more. $250. I'm not paying $500 for some resin and some colors. I don't care how valuable it is. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But with that being said, thank you all for joining us for this episode of the Rule 34 podcast, Season 3. I've been Jack, joined by
Dominic Castillo.
The dude from the new Call of Duty, Ghost Face, dude. I don't know.
Yeah. And if schedules allow, we will see you all Thursday for another episode. But as always, remember, if it exists, we have an opinion on it. Thank you, and we will catch y'all in the next episode.